Welcome everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to this week's episode of the weekly HO Scaled Newsletter Recaps for July 21st, 2025. This is also the 2025 National Train Show Special Edition, as that show was this past weekend, so we have a ton of new announcements to cover. As always, before we begin, do me a favor and subscribe if you have not done so already. It does help to make me a few dollars, so really appreciate it. Like the video as well. Drop me a comment and let me know your thoughts on all these announcements, or if you just want to chat. Love talking with you guys. Let's go ahead and get started with ScaleTrains this week. A couple quick pre-order reminders. This upcoming Monday, first up in N-Scale, the Operator Series PS coal gondolas you've seen flashing by on screen already. There's those HO Scale versions shouted out. Estimated delivery this winter, still available for pre-order. Another reminder, the Trinity 7500 Series plug door high cubes in N-Scale, also due on the 28th. More details and road names. HO Scale versions estimated to arrive late August this year. Move a little quick just to cover these N-Scale things. And since we have so much to talk about, final order reminder, N-Scale GP40s due on this Monday as well. Some of the details on those, and pretty much the same offering as HO Scale, which they mention here below. Fairly limited stock from them. I do have one, the Milwaukee Road version. Very happy with that one so far as well. You can check out my review if you're interested. Also AC44 C6Ms in N-Scale. I've got the Sonic Bonnet in HO Scale, still loving that. Unfortunately still drooping pilots and incorrect factory sound file, but you can easily remedy that. There's some of the details. Shout out of the HO Scale versions as well. And now into HO Scale. Pre-orders are due next Monday for their new run of ET44s. We've talked about these before. I'll just let them play through in case you haven't seen them yet. Lots of buzz about these hypotypicals, specifically the War Bonnet and the Rio Grande. Got the CPKC Baffinland units as well. Don't have my pre-order in quite yet, but that'll definitely be happening. There's some of the details on those locomotives. First time the ACHs for BNSF are being offered. Pre-orders due next Monday, the 28th. Additionally, the Thrall 48-foot coil steel cars are now in stock. A little bit of history and model features and the road names. Those should have billed from ScaleTrains about 2 weeks ago. Their most recent run of ES44s is also in stock. Still waiting for my notice from Lombard Hobbies on that CN patched City Rail unit. But there is our next batch of CSX Heritage units. Here's a list of all those Heritage paint schemes as well. And there are quite a few restocked road names and paint schemes. In particular, all those Norfolk Southern Heritage units. Got a video on those, still very happy with them. And those 25th anniversary BNSF units as well. A little bit of a shipping update. 3 of those units will not be coming with this run. Got sent back to the factory due to some errors that they weren't happy with. So just an update on those 3 CSX Heritage units. No current estimated ETA. But stay tuned to the channel. I'll cover it when it does come up. Both of those pre-orders were sent out last week or so. Go ahead and get those paid before August 1st. And seen below, the new announcements begin. First up, the Operator Series Multi-Max Gunderson Autoracks. We saw the rivet counter announcement of these last month or so, and those pre-orders were due. These do now have the upgraded operator line features, such as the molded-in grab irons, as opposed to just leaving holes for you to add an additional expansion pack, so to speak, for those grab irons. These pre-orders for all the models are due on August 25th for winter delivery, in this case on these Autoracks. And next up, a new run of GP40s, new road names and paint schemes. I'll let them flash by here so you can take a look. Those Rock Island units, very sharp in that bright red scheme. Got my eye on maybe one of those BN units. I know the chassis and cotton belt will be quite popular as well. Here's some of the history on the models, if you're interested in that, as well as all the road names and paint schemes offered in this run. Also looking like winter delivery for these ones as well. Same pre-order deadline of the 25th of August. And you can just see below, we have a new announcement of another run of GEVOs, more ES44s. There's one CPKC unit in this run in that new livery, as well as a few Class 1s that'll cycle by here as well, in case you missed out on some of those prior. These are some of the previous run units shown, but we'll have these same offerings. Here's the last batch of CSX Heritage units to come from ScaleTrains. If you've been waiting around for these ones, they were the later released paint schemes. And here's some of the history on the units as well as the model features. And all of the road names and paint schemes offered in this run. These are looking like a spring delivery of 2026. Same pre-order, once again, of August 25th. And now on to an even more exciting announcement in the Fox Valley Models line. New heavyweight cars from ScaleTrains. First time they're being offered. These are Pullman Standard units. I'll let all the paint schemes play by here for you. But these will go great with an announcement we'll take a look at in just a second as well. Hot on the heels of their Class J announcement. Here's some of the history of the cars, the heavyweights in general, as well as some of the model features and the road names and paint schemes. Looking like next summer delivery, first time they're being offered directly from ScaleTrains. And once again, a little teaser that we did have spoiled just a little bit. New Berkshires. These are 284 locomotives. Of course, we have the 1225 Pere Marquette and the 765 nickel plate road in a couple different variations, so you can model the accurate excursion locomotive of your choice. It does seem like the gap between the locomotive and tender seems to be just about the same as the Class J's in these pictures, so we'll see upon delivery if the gap between the two is a little bit better, because I know that was quite a complaint that I heard from most people with those Class J's. Here's some of the history of the Berkshires, and a little bit about the current excursion service of 1225 and 765. And some model details and the road names and paint schemes offered. These are also looking like next summer delivery. Same pre-order deadline of August 25th. And a reminder of the remainder of their summer road trip. They were just in Michigan this past weekend, of course. They'll be coming up to spots in Wisconsin and Green Bay next. And here's a full list of the remaining schedule, if you'd like to check them out. And a little reminder, of course, of the train show that has now passed us. I hope everyone that did attend had a good time. I was unfortunately unable to make it. And finally, billing update for the N-Scale tunnel motors coming tomorrow on Tuesday the 22nd. But that's all we have here from ScaleTrains. Really exciting things all around. We'll move on now to Broadway Limited next. And moving on to Broadway Limited, their announcement from this past weekend, a new run of heavyweight passenger cars. Just like we talked about ScaleTrains, these are different versions than the ScaleTrains announcement. Here's a quick overview of the different road names done for this version, including the 1947 American Freedom Train. This is the 5 car sets we'll talk about first. And a reminder, the order deadline on these cars is October 30th. So you do have some time to think about these ones. Estimated delivery coming up in the spring in March of 2026. Here's some early renders. First up, the American Freedom Train. And the Chessie Steam Special. And then a sort of fantasy, but a Happy Holidays theme set as well. Here's a quick overview of all the different versions as well. These are the single coaches also offered if you want to make more than 5 cars in your set. Same details as above, same touchlight control, which I very much enjoyed on the Kennefic business car. Same estimated timelines of October 30th order deadline with a March 26th delivery. It's worth noting the coaches are unnumbered when you purchase them. They do have a decal sheet with 8 road numbers that you can apply yourself. A couple different versions there of the American Freedom Train. And then some of the other road names as we scroll down here as well. I do really like that Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern. And here's some more renders of these cars. I do believe I saw some sort of American Freedom Train car down in Galveston, Texas when I was there taking a look at the Railroad Museum down there. And to go right along with those, we do have more heavyweight business cars in the exact same schemes, plus a few additional ones as well. Here's a quick overview of the details here, pretty much the same as the others. And something cool that they've also done is Conrail number 4, which is paint matched, as they say, to Rapido's HEP E8 units. Same order deadline of the 30th of October with an estimated March 26 delivery. Here's the same schemes applied to these business cars. And then a few of them with the named models as well. There's the Black Diamond. And then an Illinois Central Gulf Amtrak hybrid here. Conrail number 4, like we talked about. And then Rio Grande as well. Seen a few of the Kato models floating around as well on Facebook and things, so nice to see one of these make it back into production. We have the Ferdinand Magellan, Georgia number 300, and the Strasburg version of the Philadelphia and Reading named car. And of course, can't go wrong with more combines as well. Same details on these models as the others. Order deadline of the 30th of October with a March 26 estimated delivery. And here's a quick look at all the paint schemes. Once again, American Freedom Train, B&O, and the Chessie Steam Special. Even more down below, same schemes we saw up above as well. We do have Boston and Maine and Louisville and Nashville making an appearance, though, this time in the combines. And a neat Maintenance of Way gray car as well. Also in the Pensy scheme. And Sioux-Line and Wabash to round us out. So lots of heavyweights in different shapes and sizes from Broadway Limited announced here. But that is all we have from them for this week. We'll move on over to Bowser next. Moving on to Bowser, a pair of new product announcements or additions to an existing run. First up, the current Delaware Lackawanna former D&H RS3 4068 is being added to the Phase 1 RS3 production run. You can purchase this as DCC with Locksound 5 or analog as well. Pre-orders for this model are due on October 29th of this year as well. There's some of the details on this model will go into production, estimated delivery around December of this year as well. Bowser's second announcement is the addition to their SW1001 release of the New York and Atlantic Railways X Long Island Railroad number 101. This has full lighting as the others in this announcement as well. Pre-orders are due on August 29th, 2025. Seems like the estimated delivery for these models is sometime early next year, per their Facebook as well. DC or DCC and Sound with Locksound 5. And keeping with Bowser for a moment, just wanted to share some additional updated shots of the recently delivered two Bowser N5 and N5C cabooses. These are still in the process of waiting to ship as of the 16th, so they might be coming your way this week or next week or so. But I just wanted to show these off because I think these look very, very nice. Love the train phones on that one for the Pensy. Just a little update for you in case you're waiting on those. Moving through all of these, you can see all the different variations from model to model, and even within the same road name. Of course, tons of Pensy models. And that covers them all. And moving to one final update from Bowser as well, the Phase 1 and Phase 2 RS3s. These recently delivered to Bowser once again, and are also in the process of waiting to ship out as of July 16th. So we might see those this week or the following week. Just keep your eyes peeled if you have any of these on order as well. Really like the details on these models. I do really want a Bowser locomotive at some point. It's probably going to be one of those SD40s when they do eventually come out. Excited for those. Maybe the Canadian wide cab version or the standard SD40s. Not quite sure which one quite yet. And there we have it. That's all from Bowser, though, for this week. We'll move on now to Prairie Shadows. And next, Prairie Shadows has announced their second locomotive, the Grand Trunk Western GP9Rs, in conjunction with Motown Models. These are expected to ship around Q4 of 2026, so still quite a ways off, but really cool to see this making its way through the community. There's the CAD renderings on screen, noted not final. Lots of history and all the details on the models as well. Very cool to see them come stock with KD couplers, just a nice feature to have. They do also have the capacitors as well. Here's the full list of the offerings and SKUs if you'd like to pre-order some of these. Going from white sill to yellow sill, and then the CN website scheme as well. There are 2 undecorated models for your decorating pleasure as well. Also worth noting, the prices on screen up at the top do reflect the current tariff situation at the time of this announcement. It still might change, might go down, might go up. We'll see upon delivery what that final charge will be. Prairie Shadows also announced a new piece of rolling stock as well, the Thrall 5150 covered hoppers. Prices up top do include tariffs. There is a bulk discount purchase as well. Doesn't look like the dates up on the top right are accurate either. They're estimating a sample at the end of the year, so probably won't ship by Q3 25. We'll let you know if I see any updates from them as well. Do really like this Montana Rail Link version shown on screen in the top right. Of course, Cedar Rapids as well as CN and a CN patch on the bottom right. But that's not all. 2 more here. There is also the 3D samples and the renders with the 2 different body styles in this release. Might have to pick up some of the AGP models to go with my Trinity hoppers from Athearn. Might do a little mix and match. That could be pretty neat. But I think this is a really good one. This is their first in their Thrall series, as they're calling it. So I'm excited to see what will be next for them. But that's all we have here from Prairie Shadows for this week. We'll move on over to Athearn next. And next up is Athearn's Dispatcher, their newsletter from the past week. Quick reminder, all these models we'll take a look at here today have a pre-order of Friday this week on the 25th. And most of them are the samples from a previous run shown off. Did just want to scroll through here and get you familiar with the models that have that pre-order deadline. We did talk about all of these in detail, took a look at all of their product pages a few weeks ago. So if you're interested in those, please go ahead and check out my previous recaps to take a look at all those details. Just since we have so much to cover today, we'll just focus on what's shown here. These Genesis SD60s did make a splash when they were announced. Some more Genesis rolling stock. Roundhouse boxcars. Standard Athearn line SW1500s. As well as the standard line middle of the pack Athearn release of the AC4400 CWs. In that run, they are only DCC ready. These models here are the actual road names and paint schemes for the Pullman postal cars. I'll let those play through quickly. We have a pair of wedge trailers in different sizes, as well as a gondola. But that is all we have here from Athearn. Just a quick update. Those models are available for pre-order closing on this Friday. Just wanted to let you know. But we'll go ahead and move on over to Walthers next. And next up is Walthers' e-update. Once again, reintroducing their Spaces by Cornerstone line that they just announced, with full interior lighting and details, as well as the actual models themselves in their Cornerstone line. You can see some of those details on those models up above. We did take a look at a few more in their recent announcements about 2 weeks ago, so if you'd like to check out even more of those, they're estimating a fall 2025 delivery for both the buildings and interior kits in the Spaces line. I think that's a really cool announcement. Double door boxcars in the Walthers mainline series. Estimated winter 2026 delivery that we took a look at last announcement as well. Proto line Trinity 4-bay covered hoppers in some pretty neat schemes, all unique to the Proto line. And shouting out Atlas's Master line 50-foot ribside boxcars if you'd like to buy them from Walthers directly. Those are now in stock. as well as the N-Scale Micro Trains boxcars. Once again, if you'd like to purchase them from Walthers directly. But that's all here from Walthers. We'll move on over to Bachmann next. And moving on to Bachmann's announcements from this past weekend, we did have a full flyer, as they did have quite a few. First up, the American Freedom Train GS4 is returning as part of a set. This is DC only offered with the locomotive and 3 cars. This is the more modern appearance between 1975 and 1976 version, compared to Broadway Limited's passenger cars, the heavyweights from the 1947 Freedom Train. Speaking of Broadway Limited, we will probably have their announcement of a GS4 returning in the next few weeks or so. They did tease a rerun of a popular steam locomotive, and with that anniversary coming up and those heavyweights just announced, that would make perfect sense that we'll see a new run of those. Would love to get myself a daylight locomotive one of these days. As you can see at the bottom, there's also offering some expansion cars, each sold separately. 20 years of history represented on those cars with different presidents, if you'd like to add those onto the set as well. Moving on here, they're doing a new run in their Spectrum line of the 3-truck Shays. They do come with DCC and sound, with Tsunami sound actually, Tsunami 2. They do say that they have new metal gears, which was the most common problem with these locomotives, with the cracking gears. So I do hope that these models do hold up and they do last a lot longer for those that purchase them. I do really like these locomotives. We'll see if Broadway Limited makes one of these as well. Their Shay is a little bit different, that just delivered as well. But here's the different ones that they're announcing in this run. 3 of them, and then a painted unlettered version as well. And moving on, since Bachmann is well done and well versed with their Siemens locomotives, the SC42DM dual mode charger is their most recent announcement to that line. This does come with wow sound on board, with some of the details shown on screen as well. 2 different road numbers offered. They're also offering some light rail vehicles. These are just DCC ready. These might go quite well if you're going to purchase some of the Rapido Toronto light rail vehicles as well. I know they're not exactly the same, but if you want to buy a whole bunch of transit, now is your year, with Rapido coming out with tons of transit models as well. There's all of the details on screen as well, if you'd like to pick up some of those. 4 different versions, only 1 road number in each of them. And moving on to some rolling stock announcements. First up, the Ultradomes. These do have lighted interiors, always nice to see that. A pair of McKinley Explorer and a pair of Denali Express operating over the Alaska Railroad. Would be cool to pick some of those up if you have ridden on one of those yourself. Additionally, some 50-foot sliding door boxcars, all marked for bond schemes. Really like that Northern Pacific one, definitely stands out to me. And a pair of train sets to finish us off. First up, the DeWitt Clinton, always a unique one, love to see that. Standard DC, comes with the oval just like the Freedom Train as well. And finally, the Golden Spike train set. Always a good classic, very good introduction to the hobby if you'd like to grab that for a family member or even yourself. Nice variety of products to go ahead and get yourself started. Once again, standard DC on that model, nothing crazy. But that's all from Bachmann. We'll move on over to Sunset Models' Third Rail next. Alright, welcome on over to Sunset Models' Third Rail's newsletter. Sort of a semi-annual thing that they put out. They are a brass manufacturer that we haven't covered before, but I just wanted to show them off because there's some neat models in here. I just wanted to give them some visibility here in case you're interested in checking them out. They do a lot of work in other scales as well, primarily O-scale, where they do 2-rail and 3-rail models as their bread and butter, but they also branch out into the HO scale world as well, which we'll specifically focus on for this recap. First up, a pair of models that they're currently working on, the Slim Princess 460 for Southern Pacific in HON3 scale, and then HO scale consolidations, a couple different versions of those. First time those are ever being made in any scale, which is cool, and it's going to be brass, so you know it should be some high quality as well. First up here is that Slim Princess's product page, just give you a quick overview. This does come with Tsunami 2 factory installed, as opposed to Division Point brass, which typically comes with Locksound 5, just a different preference from their manufacturer. And next up here is the page for the consolidations. Both of those models currently a TBD ETA. So if I do see anything, I'll update you, but I'm not super in tune with the brass market, so I might not catch it. Please let me know if you see anything otherwise as well. And moving on to some passenger car projects currently in the works, Sunset Models works with Golden Gate Depot to bring these to market. So here's a quick overview of the models that we'll briefly take a look at as well. The first model we'll take a look at are the Southern Pacific Subs and the Harriman cars. There's a ton of the schemes up above if you'd like to take a closer look. They are estimated to deliver this winter. It's about 5 years since announcement, so it's been quite a bit. They did have some samples at the show, which I did see some pictures of, but they were from sort of private owners, not the manufacturer, so I don't want to steal someone's content. But they did look very nice. They do have LED lighting installed as well. They are currently pre-order only or reservation only. The QR codes on screen might work if you'd like to try to scan them and order as well, but this is also their Harriman 2.0 cars, sort of an upgrade over their previous release as well. And next up, the 70-foot head-end equipment cars. Once again, just full plastic bodies. They do have lighting installed, which is kind of rare for sort of an equipment baggage car, but nice to see. This is estimated to deliver in fall of 26, so a bit ways off, but still in the pipeline if you'd like to pick up some of these as well. This next model is kind of unique, the Southern Pacific Shasta Daylight. First time these are being done in HO, but what's neat about them is that they're being done in aluminum instead of brass or plastic, sort of middle ground, extra details but at a lower cost than brass. They still will have those details as well as full interior and LED lighting inside. However, estimated delivery in winter 26, so still a ways out. Would like to see some samples of these when they come out because I'm interested to see how that aluminum looks, just exposed and then finally painted as well. And next up, more Harriman cars. These are 60-foot cars, 5-car sets and individuals. Currently not available for pre-order quite yet. Will open in September of 25 as they say. Looking to be mostly Southern Pacific and Union Pacific cars. Once again, a plastic car with the same details that we saw before, full LED lighting and interiors. This is new tooling for them as well. And next up, the Amtrak Viewliner 2s. First time these are also being done in plastic with the same details as the other cars. Only main competition really in this space is Walthers and Bachmann, so it's nice to have a third manufacturer come in and make something a little different, but also could also go with some of the other models produced by those manufacturers as well. Still no ETA on these cars, but I'll keep you posted if I see anything come up. And final model here to show off from Sunset and Golden Gate are the Denver and Rio Grande passenger cars. I think these look very nice. These are HON3 cars, looking to deliver some more accurate models. Full plastic once again with the same features, looking to deliver in summer of 2026. But that's all here from Golden Gate Depot and Sunset Models. Just thought it would be cool to include them. We'll move on over to some samples from Rapido. And moving on over to Rapido, just wanted to share some samples of some upcoming models that are set to deliver this month or so. First up, the PA and PBs. I know we've seen some of them before, just wanted to show them all off once again. I think these look very nice. Love the details on these models. There's the demo set there. Lots of nose grab detail on the Erie. Union Pacific and the AB sets and the repowered Santa Fe units as well. Lots of detail variations as you can see between all the models. Anything from number boards to additional lights. Does seem like the front couplers are sagging just a little bit on some of these models. Hope it's not too big of an issue, but that's really the only defect I can see after looking through these models quite a bit. There's the GE demo set as well. And that wraps up the PA and PB release. These are now in stock with Rapido once again and should be shipping your way in the next week or so. And next up, a couple variations of the SD7 I'd like to share as well. First up, the Bessemer and Lake Erie. These are due late this summer, so get your pre-orders in if you haven't already. Really like the details in all the models. Metal handrails, of course, in all Rapido's models moving forward. So definitely a nice feature to have. Look at that lighting package on the front as well. And next up, another SD7, the Southern Pacific Black Widow scheme. Talking about a lighting package, this is definitely the one to go for. Here's some more shots of it. Canon and Company licensed fans all across all these models. I still have the Southern Pacific 1518 on pre-order from ScaleTrains, that SD7, the first one ever made, still at the IRM. Believe that one's supposed to deliver next summer or so I'm excited to see that one. We'll see how this one compares to this release. And finally, just a few more shots of Rapido's GP40s. Here's the CN Fast 40, as they like to call them. The Illinois Central, I do have this exact one on pre-order, very excited for it. As well as the Union Pacific, and then some extra detail shots of the fans as well. Canon and Company fans on these models as well, full LED lighting, metal handrails, standard Rapido expectations at this point. These are estimated to ship later this month or so be on the lookout for those. I have an Illinois Central and an XICCN version, very excited to see those deliver. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me through this exciting newsletter with all the National Train Show recaps. If you did make it this far, do consider subscribing. Once again, really appreciate it. Helps me to make a few dollars, so thank you very much. Like the video if you enjoyed as well, or just want to help out the algorithm. And drop me a comment if you're excited about anything. Let me know your thoughts on anything we talked about today. And of course, if I missed anything, please let me know so that I can cover it next week. But thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.